Hello everybody, welcome to this very special impromptu Fannie Awards video. Now, if you've been keeping up with the Fannie Awards, not just this year, but any year, you would know that it is a 10-day event, except for the COVID year, but that's a special case. Fannie Awards is a 10-day event. You watch for 10 days as we talk about movies in a specific order, bada bing, bada boom. Very simple. Now, some of you might have noticed that this year's Fannie Awards, if you try to look them up, to watch them maybe for the first time, maybe for the 14th time, Day 7 is mysteriously missing. You may have been one of the lucky few, and by few I mean like 16 people, who were able to watch Day 7, but now it's gone, vanished into the ether, and there's a reason for that. Not a great reason, but there is a reason. And it has to do with everybody's most fun favorite thing in the world, copyright law. Yeah! On Day 7 of this year's Fannie Awards, I presented the award for my 4th favorite film of the year, as well as the award for Best Original Concept, which is my favorite award to give out. So I was especially piffed when YouTube's copyright laws removed that video from all of the Fannie Awards playlists. Here's the story. My 4th favorite film of this year was the S.S. Rajamouli Tollywood film RRR. Spoilers, that's the movie that won film number 4. And when I posted the video, I posted it alongside some footage of the trailer from RRR without sound, just like I have all the other Fannie Awards videos before it, so that I could show off parts of this beautiful movie while I made my point talking about what a great movie it is. But the copyright lawyers didn't like that one bit, and they said you can't show footage of RRR without violating a copyright law, and thus Day 7's video was removed from my channel. You can no longer watch it. Well, who am I to deprive my loyal Fannie Award watching audience of not just one of the days, but one of my favorite days of the Fannie Awards? I said no, and I put my foot down, and I decided you are going to get Day 7 right now. Of course, that meant some changes had to be made. Yes, the good so-called people at YouTube's copyright law division decided that showing any kind of footage whatsoever of RRR was just not acceptable, for the 16 people who watch these Fannie Award videos in the first place. And the funny thing is, I did a quick search on YouTube and I found at least 5 videos on channels significantly bigger than my own who play footage of RRR completely free and unhindered without any copyright strikes whatsoever. And those channels even get paid to do that. That certainly is strange. So, as a nice big flaming thank you to the good folks at YouTube and whoever's in charge of the legal team of RRR, I have decided to put links to all those videos in the description of this video below. The ironic thing is, the reason I know about RRR in the first place is because a YouTube video told me it exists. So it's kind of funny how we're apparently not allowed to do that anymore, at least not when you're a super small channel that doesn't make any money like mine. Of course, I still love the movie RRR, and I think the director and actors and all the artists who made the movie are not themselves to blame for what's happened here today. So I give 100% love and support to the film and the filmmakers and all the people behind it. They still have my vote. It's still my number 4 favorite film of the year. And I still want to talk about it. But since I can't show you footage on YouTube because that would be a big no-no, mister, I have opted instead to carefully select screenshots from the trailers and just show you those still images instead while I talk about it. And I think you'll all agree that the screenshots I chose really help sell the movie significantly. So without further ado, here is Day 7 of the 2022 Fannie Awards, redone to meet YouTube's woefully low standards. Enjoy. We now return to the 6th annual Fannie Awards. We're back just like we promised we would be yesterday. It's day 7 of the Fannies. Welcome back. I need to just get something out of the way right now. Jared Leto, you've asked me 14 times tonight to join your cult. The answer is no. With that unpleasantness out of the way, let's get down to some good stuff. We'll start off with the number 4 movie of 2022. It was quite a chore to take this top 5 and arrange it in the way that felt right in terms of ranking them. I don't like ranking movies to begin with. That's not really how I like to, enjoy my art, by pitting them against one another. But the Fannie Awards is all about delivering the goods. So here are your goods. Here is what ended up being my 4th favorite movie of the year. It is RRR. Anyone working on modern American superhero films right now owes it to themselves to watch as many Tollywood movies as possible and take notes. I thought S.S. Rajamouli's Bahubali was a visual delight, but it is child's play compared to the Technicolor rock and roll tapestry that is RRR. Take the heightened, stylish historical fiction of 300, set it in India during the British Raj, and lean all the way into the superhuman action, and you've maybe got a taste of what RRR has to offer. It's a beautiful human story about perseverance in the face of oppression, starring 2 Indian folk heroes who've achieved damn near legendary status over the past century, and based on a hypothetical friendship, since, in reality, there's no proof that these 2 guys ever actually met. But by God, does the film ever get you invested in that friendship. By the time you get to the climax in the forest and Raju and Beam have basically gone full Super Saiyan, you're standing and cheering your face off. Seriously, American superhero movies, take notes. Why can't you look half as good as RRR? All right, congratulations, RRR. Now, folks, every year when we do the Fannie Awards, I mention how I try my hardest, most of the time having to go out of my way, to see as many original movies as I possibly can. Unfortunately, going out of your way is a common thing here because these are fewer and far between, and sometimes they're just not playing at the, main big multiplex that would be near you. You'd have to hunt out a smaller theater, which is a shame because these films need eyes, they need attention, and the less they get, the more endless sequels and remakes we're going to get. So seeing original movies is a mission statement of mine, and normally I really have to dig. I really have to dig to find them. But not this year. In 2022, I got to see 17 original movies. And there are even more that I just missed out on because I didn't have a chance to go. So what a year. This has been literally one of my favorite years for cinema in as long as I can remember. Now, what constitutes a best original concept for me? Well, obviously, first of all, it has to be an original concept based on nothing, coming from nothing, just a totally original new story. It has to be very creative and interesting. If it's kind of the same kind of story that we've seen before, it should do something different with it in unexpected ways. It should also have us questioning and wondering, would this make a great new franchise? Lots of factors contribute to this. That's why it's wonderful to have as many, additions as possible because I get more to work with. Even though it was a hard task, I managed to whittle it down to 5 nominees. And the nominees for this year's Best Original Concept are Don't Worry, Darling, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Menu, Turning Red, Violent Night. Oh boy, I'm excited. Here we go. This year's Best Original Concept, drumroll, suspense. It's Violent Night. It's Violent Night. Come on, let's not kid ourselves with envelopes. Violent Night wins. Yeah, despite the wonderful fact that we had a slew of original films this year, this wasn't even a contest. As far as I'm concerned, Violent Night claimed this trophy the second its first trailer came out. Even though you're aware of the premise going in, nothing can prepare you for just how far they take it and how many layers they add to this jaded, frustrated, and naturally violent version of Old Saint Nick. Or, as he's called in the film, Nicomund the Red, which is one of the coolest things this movie does. As far as being a franchise starter goes, sure, there's lots of room to grow here. This universe's version of Mrs. Claus and Krampus and the Easter Bunny are all still up for grabs. Do I necessarily want to see that? Not really, but it's there. It's impossible to watch Violent Night and not have fun. It's impossible to watch Violent Night and not think, goddamn, how has no one thought of this before? It's not just the best original concept of 2022, it's one of the best original concepts in years. Ho, ho, holy smokes. I had so much fun with this film. And that is a wrap up for day 7 of the Fannies. Tomorrow, day 8, the most underrated film, and we are getting into my top 3. Now it's really getting special. The Fannies will continue after this short break.